So earlier today, there was a shooting at a Walmart in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, where two morons pulled guns on each other because they were having a fight. One opened fire and hit an innocent bystander. Luckily, the innocent bystander is in stable condition. But the response to this has been absolutely stupid, and these people do not know their facts at all. So let me start this off. So we're gonna read Shannon Watts' tweet first. Back to school shopper caught in the crossfire of two armed arguing customers inside a Walmart. Open carry is legal in Louisiana and inside Walmart. It's time for them to stop this dangerous policy. This is evidence of how ridiculous it is to let folks just roll around with guns on their hips. Two assholes, both armed, pulling on each other because they can. The idea that more guns everywhere makes us safer is belied not just by common sense, but by incidents like this. In the past, a dispute like this would have led to a fistfight at most. Now, guys are pulling guns to show what big men are they. They are. Gun culture is a sickness. Two morons pulled guns on each other during an altercation these good guys with guns shot an innocent bystander, a father buying a lunchbox for his kid. There's your effing MAGA for you. So that's just really, these people do not understand the statistics for this at all. First of all, there are about 16.5 million active concealed carry permits in the U.S. So millions of people are carrying have active concealed carry permits and are carrying guns. And about 3 million carry a handgun. So 3 million Americans carry a loaded handgun with them every day, and then around another 9 million carry it with them once or every month. So every month they carry it with them. 9 million do so each month. So already you can see this kind of these idiots kind of get debunked by these articles, because guess what? So what they're doing is they're punishing millions of people for the crimes of just two people. You know how illogical that is. That is so incredibly stupid and illogical. Like, really. Then let's go over here. Guns, and these 3 million people, the vast majority cited protection as their primary reasons for carrying a firearm, according to the research. So we have this thing open right here, a factual look at guns in America. How are guns being used by citizens in America each year? The dark blue is the homicide plus accident plus suicide, and then the light blue is self-defense. Each year, guns are used over 80 times more often to protect a life than to take one. So, yeah, that's already something you need to note. So 270 million approximate of civilian firearms in America. I believe that number is more by now, actually. I think it's like 320 million. I'm not entirely sure though. Because I think this is the 1970 number. Or actually 1990 number. I don't know though. 200,000 times a year women use a gun to defend against sexual abuse. 3/5 of polled felons say they won't mess with an armed victim. Also, by the way, this thing has the sources down below, so you can go and read that. A lot of them are from the U.S. Department of Justice and stuff like that. Harvard, USA Today. They're even using some liberal sources like BBC, Newsweek, USA Today, Wall Street Journal. So yeah. Yeah. So then let's go back up here. So gun ownership versus crime in international perspective. Highest gun ownership rate, 88.8, 54.8, 45.7, 45.3. This is per 100 residents. Highest intentional homicide rate, and 91.61 for Honduras. And that's for 100,000 residents. 69.2 El Salvador, blah, 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 you get it. And the U.S. has only a 4.8 homicide rate. A recent study published in the Harvard Journal of Law and Public Policy concluded that there is a negative correlation between gun ownership and violent crime. in countries internationally. More guns equal less crime. Nations with strict gun control laws have substantially higher murder rates than those who do not in general. In fact, the 9 European nations with the lowest gun ownership rate have a combined murder rate 3 times that of the 9 European nations with the highest gun ownership rate. So, here we go. So, United Kingdom case study: most violent country in the European Union. Possession of handguns is illegal. 2,300, 2,034 violent crimes per 100,000 people in UK. 466 violent crimes per 100,000 people in the USA. That's a big difference, folks. Handguns are legal in the USA, so are AR-15s and stuff like that. I believe assault weapons are illegal in the UK. I believe I might be wrong about that, but I believe so. So as you can read this, number of recorded violent attacks soared by 77% to 1.2 million in 2007. After 1997 banning of handguns, or more than 2 attacks every minute. Kitchen knives are being used in as many as half of all stabbings in the United Kingdom, and has prompted a group of doctors to call for a ban on long pointed kitchen knives. So gun control has failed the UK miserably, and this is actually, the knife crime thing is really well documented. So it's because people can't carry guns with them to protect themselves anymore. Um, so also definitely check the link to the video that I have in the description. It's a really informative video that your mind will definitely be changed by it. Concealed carry in America: an analysis of the FBI crime statistics found that states that adopted concealed carry laws reduced 8.5% murders, 5% rapes, 7% aggravated assaults, 3% robberies. So as we can see, here's some stuff. So that's interesting. And then we're not going to read that, but so let's read this. So what this is we thought it would. So this is a report done by concealedcarry.com, and armed citizens are successful 95% of the time at active shooter events. So this is something you definitely need to read. Make sure to read this article I have in the description. I will leave the link to the description. Very long article, so I'm only going to read the part that's relevant to this video and the point that I'm trying to make. So we thought it would be interesting to see if the overall percentage of events at which an armed citizen was present was increasing, given the rise in concealed carry permit holders and gun owners nationwide. The data set is low enough that is hard to draw any strong conclusions when you are looking at 33 incidents out of 283 over an 18-year period. So they identified 283 incidents, most of them from the FBI. However, they found a few others using the FBI's description of an active shooter. So that's why you definitely need to read this article. And out of them, 33 incidents, that there was an armed citizen there. So average number of deaths per year, it's stayed around the same, by the way, for guns and stuff. Or per event, I mean. So percentage of events at which an armed citizen was present. So the yellow line shows is the likelihood of an armed citizen being present. So as you can see, it has been going up. Then it went down a bit, but then it started going up. And then up, so it's at quite high actually right now. Looking at the 283 total active shooter events in our data pool, an armed citizen was present and engaged the active shooter in 33 total of incidents, 11.7%. This is all inclusive, regardless of who the armed citizen was or their direct potential for stopping the shooter. In a few examples, the armed citizen was at their home near the event when they heard shots fired and rushed to the scene to intervene, and thus, despite not being present when the incident began, those active shooter events are included in the 11.7% below. In one example, the victims of the attack were hunters and were effectively ambushed by their killers. We are assuming the hunters possessed firearms, and thus that incident is included in the 11.7% below, even though the armed citizen wasn't attempting to intervene to save others, but was in fact the targeted victim. So as you can see, 11.7% is how much an armed citizen was present. So the success rate. Hold up, let me get some water real quick. Um, so let's see. So let's look at this little bar graph right here. That's the headline. So as you can see, so the below graph does just that. Of all the active shooter events, there were 33 at which an armed citizen was present. Of those, armed citizens were successful at stopping the active shooter 75.8% of the time. This is a number you need to know. 25 incidents, and were successful in reducing the loss of life in an additional 18.2%, 6 of the events. In only 2 of the 33 events, 6.1%, was the armed citizen not helpful in any way in stopping the active shooter or reducing the loss of life. We'll get into those 2 events in a minute. That's the headline of our report, that armed citizens are successful 95% of the time at active shooter events. So, 18.7. So as we can see, the armed citizens have a massive success rate, and including 75.8% of the time being able to stop the mass shooting, and 18.2% being able to reduce it. And only 6.1% of the time were they not helpful. So 94% of the time, these armed citizens are helping, are either saving lives or shooting, or what's it called? Stopping the mass shooting. So that's really definitely very interesting, and you should know that. In the 2 incidents at which the armed citizen failed to stop or slow the active shooter, one is the previously mentioned incident with hunters. The other is an incident in which the concealed carrier was shot in the back in a Las Vegas Walmart when he failed to identify that there were 2 active shooters involved in the attack. He neglected to identify the one that shot him in the back while he was trying to ambush the other perpetrator. So they also took a little breakdown of events that happened in gun-free zones. So what we have here, percentage of events that took place in gun-free zones: 61 were guns allowed, 107 were gun-free zones, and 115 are unknown. So events with 8+ deaths, you can see that only 3 of them allowed guns. 14 of them were gun-free zones, and 1 of them is a mystery. So yeah, that's pretty much what you need to know for this. Oh, also, number of events at which the armed citizen injured or killed an innocent person is absolutely none, absolutely 0. So, thank you. So, yeah, that's definitely stuff that you need to know. Please read this whole article I did. It's very interesting. You will learn a lot about concealed carry guns and other stuff like that. It's a bit long, but it's still a really good thing for you to learn in and to read. I mean, and make sure to read these articles as well. So yes. So anyways, thank you. That is going to be it for this video. Please share this with your friends, family, and everybody else. Remember, YouTube is censoring us conservatives, and we need to get this truth out there. So we can be able to expose the truth about guns and how guns are actually help save lives for the most part. And yeah, that'll be it for me. I will see you all next time. Bye-bye.